Michigan the other day, and as the bio says, I haven't always lived there. I grew up in Vienna, Austria. I still speak German with my own kiddos. Diana, salve. Ecce, filius meus in parte superiore et sinistra, quod annos natus est, quid mutatis, octo, septem, viginti unum, septem, et ad nomen ei est Ronen, Ronemus, fortasse, ecce filia, nomine Eva, quod annos nata est, illa? 6 annos, 6, 7, bene, amice, quinque annos nata est, bene. I hope you do better on your national examinations. Filius Ronen, novem annos natus est, paine decem. Dolo. What's a dolos? Trick. Subterfuge. Dolo usus sum de Eva. Now, in imagine 6 annos nata est, sed in vita vera septem annos nata est, in vita vera. By the way, you will hear me speak a decent amount of Latin, and hopefully an amount of decent Latin during this session, but I want to make extra sure, because I assume we all have different degrees of experience hearing Latin spoken and sort of understanding in real time like that. I want to make extra sure that we're always on the same page. Language is for communication, and if I'm speaking in a way that you, in that moment, are not quite sure what I'm saying, then that's bad communication by me. So you can help me be a better communicator by using a couple hand signs, or actually American Sign Language signs agreed on in discussion with members of the deaf community, because we didn't want to engage in what's technically cultural appropriation, in other words, lifting signs from a language without reference to the culture that produced them. So I'm going to give you 3 signs that you can use. Anybody here speak American Sign Language, by the way? Oh, you can help us out then some too. We're not speaking American Sign Language here, we're just using vocabulary from American Sign Language. So I tend to speak fairly slowly in Latin on purpose, but should I start to speak too quickly, you can slow me down by using the American Sign Language sign for slow, which is simply this. Go ahead and copy whatever I do with my hands. Here you have one pen. Hey, salute! Welcome. So you can get me or another speaker in the room to slow down using this sign. Students love this one because there's the actual sign and there's the awkward version. If there's an awkward version of something, my students and I will find it. But the students also like it because you can do it kind of unobtrusively. Have you ever, who here is a Latin teacher, or has been, or may someday be, or knows that there's such a thing as a Latin teacher? So, have you ever had that student who just won't do the following? Magister, Mr. Bailey, Bailey. I feel like I would be assimilating all the comprehensible input that you're providing me into my mental representation of the language. If only you would reduce the pace of your speech a little bit. Have you ever had that student who just won't raise their hand and say that? Well, that student, that odd student, might be perfectly comfortable with their hand down here doing this. It's unobtrusive, it destigmatizes non-understanding, and I can, from wherever I am, just begin speaking more slowly. So this is the way you can get to slow down. Let's say that you want to hear something again because you didn't quite catch it, or you want to savor its sound, or, unlikely with me, but With someone maybe, it's just so profound, you want to internalize it, you want to hear it again. This right here is the sign language sign for, again, the ASL sign for. Again, I'm told that the image is of another portion on your plate. Like, yes, I'd love another scoop of that there. Okay, what if you say something, a student says something, and I do, what do you think I'm getting them to do?
Repeat it more slowly.
Yeah, say that again, a little more slowly so we can all savor it. Last but not least for now, you may have experienced as a traveler that sometimes no amount of repetition, no amount of slowing down, no amount of raising your voice will help with understanding if what? You just don't know the word. You're just not sure what's being meant by that word. And so the American Sign Language sign for word is this. It's like an equal sign on a stick so it doesn't fall down. Or maybe like a white flag. You can also think of it as showing yourself the letter P. I always say to students, by the way, I don't use the phrase if you don't know that word, or if you haven't learned it yet, or if you don't remember that word. I just say, if you're not sure what I'm saying in the moment. First of all, in communication, that's all that matters. It's what's being communicated in the moment. And second of all, I like to dissociate. Words have different meanings in different contexts, and I want to dissociate someone's sort of study habits from their ability to participate in our communication in the moment. So let's do a quick, no pressure refresher. How would you get me to slow down? How would you get me to repeat something? How would you get me to clarify the meaning of a word? Lovely. Slow down. Clarify. Whenever I see Tom, I get distracted. So today, we're going to be doing a series of lessons, or a lesson containing a series of activities or tasks that specifically build up to reading a specific poem. In the group of poems, it's attributed to one Sulpicia. We'll learn more about her and what may possibly be the case about her along the way. I see some of you diligently flipping to that page. I won't stop you from doing that, but we're going to do various tasks to build up to that, and they mirror things that I do with my own students to make the actual reading of the poem a more successful experience. We have about 80 minutes for this. In real life, it'd be nice to have a couple days to gradually build up. So we may not do all the variations of a particular task that I would love to do with my students, but rather give kind of a sampling, and then we'll enjoy the poem itself. Now, having said that, none of these actual tasks are specific to this poem. You can do them with any poem, any other text that you were reading. And so in addition to taking the opportunity to read an underread poem by an underread author of poems, I'm also hopefully modeling some things that you can do with texts in general, whatever you happen to read, even with the textbook reading, not just a classical artifact. So, first, I'd like to ask you this question. Ubi proximum diem natalem agere vis? In this context, agere is like celebrare. Diem natalem agere vis diem natalem celebrare. Jen, what am I asking people here?
Where they want to spend their next birthday.
Sure. Yeah. So, in Capula, omnes habetis, Capulam, Neolaceam, By the way, when I was a child, when we were children, we all looked forward to various things about being an adult, right? The number one thing I looked forward to was becoming authorized to do this. You never see a child doing that, right? Who else needs one? Oh, all the tardy people. Okay, so scribe. Scribe in capula. Locum. Uno locum. Ubi proximum diem natalem agere veli. ambiguous. It can be very general, like a continent or a country. It can be very specific, like a certain establishment or anything like that. You don't have to write it in Latin. Write it in the language of your choice that you suspect I understand. Et loco scritto trade capula quic sodali. This trade has send them west. No, not west. South. Something to fill out too. Also be writing complete sentences. Aliquis. Sometimes I'll say a word with kind of a questioning M-I-E-N, whatever looks the look on your face. Like this, and then I'm asking, hey, is this word kind of inbounds you understand what I mean by it? And if you do, just nod smugly. If not, you can mirror this back to me. So, aliquis, aliquis hic. Proximum die natale in Gallia. What I love how accurately you expressed interest. Which reminded me that I forgot to say that in a group of 24, it's statistically likely that there would be 1.8 boring people. But I looked through these and I found there are actually 0 boring people. In fact, in this entire conference, I suspect there's 0. So continue as you've already begun expressing that interest in people's non-boringness as we go along. So aliquis hic in Gallia. Diem natalem proximum agere. Quis in Gallia. Diana. Salutate, Diana. Diana, tu. Proximum diem natalem in Gallia agere quis. In Gallia Antiqua. Odierna. What's Odierna mean? Today. Yeah, today's. Many people were like, do we have today? Odierna. Bene. Et omnes. In Gallia, quae sunt urbes maiores? Urbes maiores in Gallia. Parisi, sive ludetia Parisiorum. Lugdunum, Lyon. Is that right? Lugdunum, which is Lyon.
Nemausus. Nemausus.
Nemausus. Nim. The circumflex. Nim. By the way, if you can't pronounce the urbes magni momenti. Massilia. Massilia. Quid est Massilia? Gallicae? Marseille. Non est quibus famosus Massilianus, buiebes. Bene, et garo Massiliano. Bene, odiam multas urbes nomina multaro urbium audivisti. Sed tu, arbitrio tu, in your wish, according to your wish, arbitrio tu, mavis in urbe natalem agere. You can say natalem for short, for dia natalem. In urbe natalem agere an ruri.
Malo agere natalem ruri.
Ruri. By the way, you can say ruri or rure. Super great. You don't have to remember which is ruri. 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 Ruri? What's Ruri? In the countryside. I like it. Ruri. In qua parte Gallia?
Credo in parte proprio Urbem Turonum.
Urbem Turonum. Tour. As in Sanctus Martinus. Turensis. Tour. Ecce Gallia. Ubi est Tour?
Es Flumen Loire. Credo Tour est in media parte Patriae. Vita.
Est patria tua?
No.
Patria in Gallor. Ecce. Et dic iterum nomen Latinum huius urbis.
Urbs Turonum.
Turonum.
Turones erant homines antiqui. Credo Caesarem, Iulium Caesarem ad Suissa.
Et narravit in commentariis de bello Gallico.
Nescio.
Sed Diana nostra natalem suum proximum in urbe Turorum agere vult? Sic anno. In ipsa urbe? Non in urbe. Ubi? Ruri. Prope urbe. Bene. Quis alius? Write this down. One of my favorite questions. Quis means who. Quis alius? Who else? Who other person? Quis alius natalem non in America agere vult? Quis scripsit loco non in America? Tu domine. What is nomen tibi?
Nomen tibi Hugo.
Hugo Sancti Victoris. You of Saint Victor? No. Ubi tu natalem agere quis proximo?
Loro natalem proximo agere in Hibernia.
In Hibernia. Winter wonderland. In Hibernia, quomodo dicitur Hibernia Anglicae? Ireland. Quomodo dicitur Hibernia Hibernic? Ireland. Et nomen sorores meae est Aaron. Significat plus minusque Hibernia. That is a winter wonderland. Bene, Hugo, in urbe an Ruri in Hibernia. Quis alius non in America? Ubi?
Australia.
In Australia. In urbe, qua an Ruri? In qua urbe? In qua urbe? Oui.
Sydney.
Sydney. Sydneya. Tu jam fuisti ibi? Sed quis? Quis alius extra American? Domina.
In Caledonia.
Oh, Caledonia. Quoris nomen?
Marisa.
Marisa. Tu es Californiana. In Caledonia. Caledonia. Ubi est Caledonia? Yeah. Quoris aliud vocabulum pro Caledonia? Scotia. Scotland. Sure. Non est Hibernia. Cavete. Bene. Et Marisa, in urbe, quadam Caledonica an ruri.
In urbe. And in Ruri. Yeah.
Oh, Dio! Laudite bis. Et, Diana, licetne arbitrio tuo, according to your will, arbitrio tuo, natalem agere?
Sì, credo ne possa fare.
Bene. Et Hugo, licet arbitrio tuo, like, do you actually have the power of deciding where you spend his birthday? Bene. Lindsay? Non. Cur.
Necessity lavorare in scuola.
Lavorare in scuola. To suffer in school. Bene. Et Marisa, licetne tibi arbitrio tuo?
Ita sed filia mea in universitate student.
Bene. Oh, I'm not sure if this ending is going to be flawless, but it is.
Fortasse Wolt Philia SES.
Like that one society?
Yes.
Yeah.
SES Ire Wolt.
Ah.
In Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah. Dies natalis tuus est
Hugo.
mense Januario. Mense Decembre exeute ad finem mensis Decembris. Bene. SES. Birthday in Scotland. Scotland starts with SC. Bene. Okay, we are going to Exploratrix, sneaking in. Let's see, sideway. Hey, let's do this. Let's look at a picture, okay? Any of you ever get or read that magazine, Highlights for Children? I think they have a thing where it's like a way zoomed in dealy and you have to guess what it is. So turn to someone next to you and brainstorm, in the language of your choice, what this might be a really zoomed in picture of. And we will return to the topic. Choice. What are we looking at here? What are we looking at a little bit of here?
Scalae?
Fantastic sunt scalae. Scalae ad caelo. Ad caelos. Caelo, interesting word. Neuter in the singular, masculine in the plural. I don't know how that happens.
Scalae castelli.
Fantastic sunt scalae castelli. Cuius da? Castello? Power Aqua Castra. Itty bitty cat. Castello, later castle. Right? And in the Latin roots. Scala, Castelli, Gustav. Quid aliud. Ooh, if quis alius is who else, what's quid aliud?
Us.
And pointing here to an invisible quid aliud. What else? Yeah, quid aliud. Quid aliud. Pensetus.
Herba.
Ah. Herba?
Mini mini.
Herba. Herba.
You do it.
My mom still calls it grass. Bene, for us is herba in imagine. The children are going to be watching this recording. Better to not, we are to not have it be forbidden fruit. Quid aliud. Quid est. Quid videmus in imagine.
Fortasse pars machinae.
Upas machinae. Suis pars catapultae. Pars machinae. Fieri potest. Could be. Mark.
Credevam esse morum ecclesiae Magnifici.
Fortasse est murus ecclesiae vel alter ius aedificii magni. Fortasse sunt flying buttresses. Fieri potest. Diana.
Say in horto publico est aedificulum ubi arbori
In hortis publicis, like in the park, non sunt structurae in quibus parvi possum vel fortasse quas parvi homines possum ascendere sicut simiae. Jungle Gym. I don't know how to say either of those words. Actually, sorry. Vultis videre. Nunc spectamus e proximo. Vultis e longinquo spectare. Hodie. Nunc. Sequat patie. Est villa mea in Michigan. Non est. Quis venit diem natale ibi agere. Ego, quod est nomen tibi?
Darcy aut Latine Archita.
Archita. Archita stati rogata ambas manus. She's trying to get the wave going, but no. Tu in tali domo diem natalem agere velis. Quis non venit in tali domo natalem agere. Quod est nomen tibi?
Esturanea.
Esturanea. Est nomen pulcrum. Tu non venis in tali domo urbe agere. Tu? Samuel. Neque tu? Si 2 weeks diem natalem in hac villa, non solo in tali villa, sed in hac ipsa villa agere. Ecce, potest adire Lionard Luxury Real Estate? Emma. Magno pretio and parvo pretio. Ubi est? Quid can say this? Ubi est? Est in Caledonia? No. Fortasse Hispania? Italia? Bene, bene, bene. Some of you are thinking, wow, this Bailey guy's been making us sit for a while. So I'm going to allow you to stand. But, if you wish, that is, if you're interested and able to stand according to the following system. Eke, urbs, quaidam. Et vos rogo, hoc. Tu, este studiosior, zealouser of, studiosior ruris an urbis. Nomne Horatius, quidam Quintus Horatius Flaccus, aliquid scripsit de mure urbano et de mure rustico, country mouse, city mouse. Ergo, another way of thinking, esne tu, magis, mus urbanus, and mus rusticus. And here's what we're going to do. Si tu es studiosior ruris surges, non nunc, sed signo dato, hoc erit signo dato, surges et huc, plus minus huc, venies. Si es studiosissima ruris. Si autem studiosissima urbis es huc venies, sed sicut in vita nostra. Haec res fortasse non est binaria. Fortasse in medio stas. Fortasse studiosior ruris est, neque studiosissima. Bene, ergo licet continuum, est vocabulum latinum, continuum pagare, rus urbs. Bene, somne roganda de hoc exercitio. And I know it's tricky moving about with these fixed chairs and whatnot, but I have a feeling you'll find a way. Cum ad veneritis, when you will have arrived, breviter loquamini cum hominibus prope vos stantibus de tasse de urbe quae tibi placet, vel de loco rustico qui tibi placet, licet latine and anglicae. So you can treat this as like a Latin exercise or just as a little like unwind, get up, brain break type thing, but then we'll proceed from that position. Jen, do you have a question about the procedure?
Studiosor agendo die natalis.
Bene rogas, because we might feel differently about doing different things. Like, do you prefer to ride horses in the city or in the countryside? Do you prefer a vast cocktail menu in the city or the countryside? Yeah, so in general, thank you, because we have been focusing on dies natalis here. We're going to decenter our birthdays here for a moment and speak a little more generally. Bene, gratias. Estis ne piratae?
Ja.
Estis ne pagatae? Bene, ergo, studiosiores urbis, studiosiores ruris. Sunt plures in illa parte in hac. In illa parte, non è? Illa. Pretty sure Latin. Salve. Oh. Jacoba. Oh, it's explaining good. Studiosior ruris es. Multo. Rustica, rusticissima. Sed tu, ella, non es rustica. Es urbana. Est urbs quae te maxime delectat. Roma.
Et novum Baracchio.
Papai! Este nunc laetissima?
It's a vero.
I'm not going to push my luck by asking more people. Ilsa est tu quoques multo studiosior urbis amburis, et este una urbs, este quaedam urbs, quae te praeceteris, so like beyond the others, delectat.
Est Washingtonia Denke.
Washingtonia dece. Washingtonopolis etiam digitur. Bene. Josefe, quae urbs te maxime delectat?
Nescio, fortasse Portlandia.
Portlandia. Est urbs et spectaculum te pacificum. We've corresponded.
Yes, we have.
Este locus rusticus, locus rure situs, qui te maxime delectat. Fortasse pars, cuius patriae, escio, Montana.
Ohio, sed habito in Indiana.
In Indiana. Et habitas in urbe an ruri. In urbe. Indianapolin. Well, Indianapoli habitas. Benedict. Placet. Divi.
Plus sue minus sue.
Yeah. Michael stat hic. Cum studiosioribus ruris, sed habitat in urbe. Magna. Omnes. Absit. It'd be far from something unnamed. Bene. Redite, actually, nolite redire ad cellas. Here's what I want to do. We're going to do this differently than I normally would because of the fixed chairs. See how we're kind of bunched up here because of our predilection for cities? Let's bring the arc around so that and vos cum sodalibus prope vos stantibus dicetis res quas in imagine videtis. And it's going to be, well, videtis. It's going to be quite simple. So let's say that the picture were This one from the city of my youth, Indwelling. But just behind this here Kunsthistorisches Museum, Museum of Art History. Bummer, huh? Let's say this for the picture. You could say, arbores, caelum, caeruleus, columnae, if that's kind of what you're up for in the moment, or something where, videtur mihi urbs quaedam Europaeana, fortasse caput, curiusdam papre, etc. I always tell students, say whatever you're up for in a moment. Why do I say it that way? Because even the same human being is up for saying different things in the same language at different times. And once again, like I was talking about at the beginning, I try to dissociate sort of in-the-moment performance from overall intellectual status or something like that. So we're going to do a couple rounds of commentary on this. In the first, solum dicenda sunt, varia de imagine, describenda est imago. Bene? And let's try as far as possible to do this beanie and twos and It worked out. Ooh. You guys probably haven't seen the double barrel sprinkler. Ecce imago. Et loquimini, describite imagine. Sed nunc non est describenda imago. Tantulo est rogando, est interrogando. So we're asking questions. Non respondemus, well, non respondebimus. Tantumolo rogabimus. These can be sort of like comprehension type questions, like what homines sunt in imagine, or they can be things you actually wonder, things the picture makes you wonder. Any questions about the task? Okay, agite.
Go.
non rogabibus, sed loquebur, sed cunctae sententiae. Cunctae is omnes. This, by the way, means even or equal. It's also used as first class synonyms. Cunctae omnes. All together. Cunctae sententiae, cunctae periodi. Initium est primum vocabulum habebunt fortasse. Fortasse. Pero iterum cum priore socio, with the first person you were talking to, loquamini, sed omnes sententiae initium habeant fortasse, which is possible when you think about it. Loquamini, go. Non state, sed signo dato. State?
No.
Quando?
Signo
dato.
Quo facto?
Signo
dato.
Bene. Redite ad cellas, neque considite. Vides, redite ad cellas, et state. Prope cellas. Stay out of breath. Really stay. Bonum concilium, malum concilium. By the way, I discovered one time that a great little tack on, throw in language classroom task is after almost any sentence in a text or almost anything that someone asks or almost anything that you say or do, just ask bonum concilium and malum concilium. And people have to think a little bit about that. And maybe if the proficiencies are there, you can talk about what's a good idea, not a bad idea, etc. This is going to be a brain break. It's not where your brain breaks. It's going to give you a brain break. Like so many brain breaks, it's based on the rock, paper, scissors. We could say lapis, carta, forfices, if we wanted to. Rock, paper, scissors. People familiar with the basic rules? Just to review, rock smashes the scissors, thus winning. Makes sense. Scissors cuts the paper, thus winning. Makes sense. Paper covers the rock, thus winning. Okay, that's how it works. So this is how it's going to be. It'll be you against me. So we'll just go repeatedly, and if your your gesture ties with mine or defeats it, you stay standing. If mine defeats yours, you sit down. Gradually, more and more of you will sit down, if you're honest. By the way, I don't tell this to students, but since I'm not going to be looking very carefully, if you're just tired of standing, you just act like you lost earlier. Instead of saying lapis carta forfices, let's say some Latin phrase. And we've got like a little Latin idiom or favorite phrase or a favorite line of poetry or something that we can recite rhythmically as we pound out the rhythm. Oh. Should we do it with or without elision? Oh, de amo.
Oh, it's good.
That'll help us with the so and right, should we do the sign on the O or after? After, okay. So it'll be O et amo ba, whatever it is. O et amo. And so on, okay? Estis ne piratai? Estis ne piratai? Bene. O et amo. Okay, so si lapidem posuisti concide. Oh, you guys are amazing at this game. Itero. Oh, et amo. Carnage. Like the bad word. Oh, et amo. Oh, et amo. Oh, et amo. I can see why you guys are still in it. Oh, et amo. Oh, et amo. Oh, et amo. Tres manet. Quis utat ilsam victricem fore. Meine omnes. Oh, et amo. Oh, I broadcast mine a little bit. Oh, no, you're good. Will it be one victor, or will it be like in that BBC production, Coliseum and Gladiator story? 2 fight and 2 win. Oh, et amo. Just goes to show, majority's not always right. Bene. No. Thinking back to this picture and the conversations you had about it, what were some of the questions? Quid roga vistis? These can be some of the sort of simpler comprehension questions or some of the wonderings. Quid roga vistis? De agiem. Ubi feminae sunt. What nomen est? Christina. Ubi feminae sunt. Bene. Quid alium roga vistis?
Quid out aliumne tenet imago in manibus.
Ah! Hic?
Minime in parte sinistra. Ita. Imago. Statua.
Ah! Haec incum est imago in imagine. Est pupa russica. Darcy, nomen latinum? Archita. Bene. Quid alium roga vistis? Boudica. Cuius Dei est templo. Bene, bene roga visti. Quid alium? Alega.
Quid legunt mulieres?
Quid legunt? Hae mulieres. Bene, bene, bene. Nunc audire volo. Proposita vestra. In other words, the things, sententias, quae quarum primum vocabulum erat. Fortasse, quid.
Fortasse mulieres sunt exploratores, quae occupo en venire Inuit template.
Non
Leo.
Leo. Ita exploratores, explorantes. Fortasse sunt consilia secreta. Cartae geographicae. Bene, gratias. Quid aliud?
Fortasse est cartamen poetarum.
Cartamen poetarum. Poem off. Nomenti, I know you learned it. Stephanos, okay. Fortasse est cartamen carminum. Diana.
Fortasse illa statua humana fit.
Fortasse sicut Galatea. Statua imago. Fit. Vera humana. Well, sicut Pinocchios. Bene. Nomen?
Alexandra.
Alexandra?
Fortasse templum est Neptuno dedicatum, quies signum mare. Fortasse templum est Neptuno dedicatum, quia situm est gloria mare.
Dixit, Alexandra. Templum fortasse Neptuno Deo dedicatum, quia prope mare situas. Unum alium. Alium, okay.
Fortasse sunt musae.
Fortasse sunt musae. Quae musae? We won't have to go through the basis. It's for trivia later. Bene. Bene. Multisne fabula audire. Well, historiam. Non solum fabula est. The fabula, generally by definition, non est vera. It's made up. In fact, if someone makes a claim to you, you can say, fabula! It means you're a liar. Well, nothing you just told is a story!
Pedagogical question.
Yeah.
If you were doing this with students that have less experience, would you provide maybe some basic vocab that they could like jump onto?
Yeah. So let's talk a couple. Is it okay if I give a couple variations for different levels of students? So all these things, you work with the people that you're actually working with, right? But lots of variations depending on levels. So a couple things I do if I want to do this kind of task with students who haven't internalized as much of the language, I might do just the descriptive, like multiple rounds of just the description phase, and just focus on really basic description. I would also choose a picture where I knew that students had plenty of stuff that they could say about it. But then I might also use what Tom's referring to, what are sometimes called sentence stems. Whether that's fortasse, papa, or culto, such and such, such and such, such and such, esse, or we might do something like show the picture, and then as a class brainstorm as much relevant vocab as we can think of. And then I might offer students one or two more things in the following way. What's something you really feel like needs to be said about this picture that you're not sure yet how to say? And then provide that. So a couple different ways of doing that. Sometimes I might delay that last prompt or that last offer by saying, hey, while you guys were talking with each other, what's something you kept wanting to say about the picture? You kept wanting to be able to say, but you weren't quite sure how. And then depending on the purpose of the time, we can talk together as a class, like, hey, how might we express this? Or I can just provide it. You know what a great time is to teach someone something? When they want to know it. So I do like to take advantage of that when students are really bad. Does that at least give a partial answer there? Yeah.
So can you say again what the sentence stems were?
Yeah, so sentence stem is literally any time to provide the first one or more words of a sentence that students can then fill in the rest. So I did that actually when I had you guys start with fortasse. There wasn't a lot of A because it's fortasse and then just a complete sentence. But sometimes they're also called sentence frames, if it's not just the very beginning. So if it was like puto esse, or puto with an infinitive at the end, or something like that. Sentence frames, sentence stems. Yeah. And we will, by the way, I should have said this earlier, we are going to have a time for debriefing kind of the overall, some of the various tasks, how do I fit together, some variations, including variations for different levels. Yeah. So the reason why I haven't so far been interrupting it is I want to get as close as possible to kind of the flow of the students might experience with this, but I definitely want to make sure we get to debrief as well. So, fabula. If you yell fabula or fabulas, i.e. fabulas, paras, at somebody, what are you accusing them of?
Lying.
Not necessarily being a liar, but at least being a person who lied just now. So, eke. Mendax. Historiam. Narrado. Non solos. Sed. Auxilio vuestro usus. Es fabula paine vera. Pero historia paine vera. Plus minusque vera. I've filled in some gaps in this version of mine. Constructed the story based on my reading of the 6 main poems attributed to Sulpicia and other people's reading of those poems. I will, at times, during the narration, request that someone come up and be sort of it's not even like acting the part of, it's just be sort of like a placeholder for the character who's now been introduced. Sometimes you will have a line, but I will always literally write out the line on the board, not just so that you can see it, not have to worry about it, but so that everyone can. Okay? This is sort of the backstory for the poem that we will read. And feel free, I'm not going to force anyone to come up and be a placeholder person. I'll ask for volunteers. For the rest of you, this, by the way, quick teacher talk. This is called norming class. It's in teacher talk. So the norming class, which is telling students what success looks like in this particular task, what students should do to be maximally successful. So norming class for this bit, all you got to do is listen and watch with the intent to understand. It's okay if you don't catch every single little detail, but we want to catch like the plot of the backstory for the poem we're going to read. We will have the chance to debrief it in English, but just enjoy having the chance to, maybe longer than usual, listen to a hopefully fairly clear and linear narrative that relates to an actual rhyme, right? I won't physically prevent you from, let's say, jotting something down along the way, but there's no such requirement. The idea is sort of trapped with the story. And I will. Is there like a visual mute button here?
Yes. This is traditional.
Olim. You know the story is important when he gets a new piece of chalk. Olim, aetate Augusti, erat femina Romana, nomine Valeria. Quis vult partes Valeriae agere. Just to give a preview, what you will do in order to do this is hic stabis et dende hic stabis. Bene? Quis potest, quis valet partes Valeriae veni, agita, plaudite omnes. Bene, femina nomine Valeria. Valeriae erat maritus vir Romanos. Nomine Sulpicius Severus. Sulpicius Severus. This part's even easier to add. Doesn't do anything. Quis vult partes Sulpicii Severi agere? Bene, Andrea, veni, plaudite semet. Bene. Et Valeriae et Sulpicio erat filia. Et si nomen eius est Sulpicius Severus, quod erat nomen filiae? Filia. Cur quia Romani erat insolvinistae. Quis vult partes Sulpiciae agere? Don't worry, you don't have to compose 6 poems. Lisa, plaudite omnes. Est filissimus. Nomine?
Sala.
Valerius. Messalla Marcus Valerius. Messalla Corvinus. Quis vult partes Marci Valerii Messallae Corvini agere? Bene, Hugo, veni, Hug. Nolite plaudere. Non plaudite. Erat nobilissimus dux Romanos. Et. Vedete? Sulpicio mortuo. Valeria cum Sulpicia domum fratris migravit.
Salve, frate.
Salve, Lamborghini. Valerius, avunculus Sulpiciae, erat studiosissimus carminum. Est maxime carmina amabat. Saepe exclamavit, quid dulcius carminibus? Saepe magnos poetas inuitavit, qui carmina sua recitarent. Horatium, this will partes Horatii agere, you can do it from your seat. Bene, Leo. Horatii gratus et quid? Horatius, carpe diem.
Carpe diem!
Clamavit. Ovidius. Quis vult partes Ovidii agere? Quod est nomen? Tilia. Bene. Gutta cavat lapidem.
Gutta cavat lapidem.
Drop holes out of stone. And all the dinner guests. Oh, too true. Too true. Bene. Tibullus. Bene, Diana. Just kidding. Di meliora ferant. May the gods bring better things. Ergo, Sulpicia saepissime fortasse cotidie carmina audiebat. Et Sulpicia quoque
Quid dulcius carminibus?
clamavit parva cum voce. Okay. Valeria, veni, concede. It's scaena ultima. Quolam die Valerius ad Sulpiciam venit. Erat longum iter. Et o Sulpicia
O Sulpicia,
inquit natalem tuum
natalem tuum
rure agemus.
rure agemus.
Nam, dies natalis Sulpiciae appropinquabat, is veniebat. Et Valerio erat ecce Roma, ecce Arretium. Quid est Arretium Italicae? Arezzo. Et est flumen quod per Arretium fluit, nomine etiam a littera habet initio. Arno ita. Italicae arno, latine arnus. Est arnus fluvius. Et Valerio erat vila rustica prope Arretium, in agro Arretino. Ager often means like a plowed field, but it can also mean kind of that area. In agro Arretino. Ergo, Valerius, o Sulpicia,
O Sulpicia,
natalem tuum
natalem tuum
rure agemus.
rure agemus.
Sulpicia laetatur an tristatur.
Tristatur.
Cur. Propter duas causas. Primum, Sulpicia multo studiosior urbis erat quam ruris, et clamavit
Dulcius urbe quid est?
non dixi duas esse causas. Sulpicia non solum studiosior urbis erat, sed etiam amicum habebat secretum. Nomen amicum erat Cerinthus. Non opus est histrione, quia est secretus. Bene. Sed Valerius avunculus iterum natalem tuum
Natalem tuum
inquit rure agemus
rure agemus.
et exiit. Sulpicia erat tristis quidem, sed callidissima. Et rem secum volvit, as she ciudaet frum rumi naum. Rem secum volvit. Et subito consilium callidissimum cepit. What concilium cepit? Talk amongst yourselves in 55 seconds or fewer. What plan did she hatch to get out of the cinch? Go. Okay, so they say I don't know who they are or how strongly I believe them, but they say that ending with like your finger by your mouth both calls attention to people's own like mouth movements and quiets them, but also calls attention to your mouth, which is the next thing you want them to pay attention to. So, quod erat consilio, English or Latin? What are some ideas maybe that she came up with to get out of this bind? Andrea?
Necare avunculum suum.
Bonum consilium, malum consilium. Okay, alia consilia.
Fert amicum clam.
Clam, it is secreto amicum. Fortasse in arco. It was kind of heavy and loud. Bonum consilium, malum consilium. Alexandra negat esse bonum consilium. She's tried it. Unum aliud consilium, Michael.
She faked sick.
Hmm?
She faked sick and had to stay home.
Ah, simulat se aigrotare. Bonum consilium and malum consilium. Malum. Bonum? Malum? Consilite, plaudite omnes. Actually, wait. Sulpicia hoc capit consilio. Sum puella callida.
Sum puella callida.
Sibi dixit. Et spectatoribus. Carmen scriba.
Carmen scriba.
What's she gonna write? What's she gonna do to the poem?
Present.
Write it. Yes. Now, I'm not above forgery. So I had forged for a rough draft.